is my Audi R8 V10 Spyder that I just purchased, and I want to talk about why and how I ended up buying this car. Because about a month ago, I had literally zero intention of buying an Audi R8. First off, kind of some background, I had an i8 that was a lease. That lease was up, so I turned that car in on July 20th of this year. I was down to one car again, my Audi S4, and this was my plan. I was going to be a responsible adult and consolidate down to one car for a little bit. Having two cars was a little bit over the top at some times because you can't use them at all times. And I was like, okay, what is a great all-around car to have that's both exotic, luxurious, has technology, is fast, it looks great? RS7. That was what I really wanted to get. I love the Audi RS7. So I actually looked around, decided I was gonna not get another sports car. I dreamed about buying a McLaren, ran some numbers, like, maybe that's not a great idea right now. Looked at some other cars, like, I think I'll just do a one-car garage for a bit. So I decided on an RS7. Then debated back and forth between a pre-refresh, a C7 or a C7.5 with the new headlights and taillights and the little subtle changes. Decided I wanted a newer car with the updated lights, and I wanted a CPO car. So finally looking around, I wanted a Bang Olufsen sound system, I wanted air suspension, I wanted this and that. Found a car that I wanted, put money down on that car. I was like, okay, this is the car I'm going to buy. I'm going to buy an RS7. I'll sell the S4. The S4 was listed for sale. And the problem that came up was the RS7, literally like a couple days after I was like, okay, I want to buy this car, I found the car, a recall came out, which led to a stop sale from Audi. It was a passenger occupancy sensor, so it's what senses if somebody's sitting in the passenger seat, and that affects whether or not the airbag is going to be activated or deactivated. That sensor could fail, which could, in worst case scenario, lead to, let's just say you get in an accident, the sensor didn't realize somebody was there, airbag doesn't go off, that's a problem. So, because the car I found was at an Audi dealership and was certified pre-owned, they could not sell the car to me. And the fix was who knows how long. It could have been, it was months. I don't think it's been fixed yet. So I was like, all right, that's fine. I've secured this car. I know it's going to be mine. I'll just wait. I'll just keep driving my S4. I won't sell it yet. I'll wait till that car is available. Well, fast forward to about a month and a half into waiting for this RS7, my friend Scott texts me. And when Scott texts you, this is what happens. So he goes, dude, you got to look at this car. This R8. He sends me pictures of this car. And he's like, dude, it's like pretty much the same price as you're buying the RS7 for. I'm like, oh, uh-oh. And looked at it a little bit more, and the big defining factor why this car was so interesting was it was a manual transmission vehicle. If it was an R-tronic, paddle shifters, would not have been interested. I wouldn't have bought it. I recently had reviewed a convertible V10 first generation R-tronic, and it was cool and I liked it, but I wasn't like, oh my god, I want to buy this car right now. A lot of people seem to think I wanted to buy an R8 after I did that review, but honestly, when I did that review, I had zero intention. It was not even on my mind to buy an R8. So Scott texted me. The car was located out in Connecticut at a mutual friend of ours, Revive at 0 to 60 Motorsports, and it had a good reputation. Like, the car looked clean. It was low miles. It was like just over 13,000 miles. Manual 2011 V10 Spyder, obviously white on black with the gunmetal wheels loaded with carbon fiber. It's got the front splitter, the mirrors, the scuff plates, full interior carbon fiber, the rear diffuser. So I'm pretty sure this is fully optioned of carbon fiber. I love the white on black spec. So all of a sudden he goes, hey, you should buy this car. I was like, uh-oh, should I buy this car? Looked at it, thought about it, ran some numbers, looked at a couple other things. I was like, I think I'm going to buy an R8. So within the span of about a week to a week and a half, I changed my mind completely, pulled a 180. I was like, all right, I'm buying an R8 V10 Spyder manual, and it's because it's a manual. I'll come back to that in a second. So that's the story of that. Pretty much in a 1 week span, I changed my mind, decided I'm going to keep the S4. That's my winter car, daily driver, a little more practical, understated vehicle that I can take to work or to groceries or stuff like that. And this is my exotic, fun sports car now. I want to talk a little bit more about kind of the reasons why I thought this was okay. Because I mean, like, I don't have parents that are crazy rich. I'm not a millionaire. It's not like I just randomly buy these like people buy, I don't know, candy or something. Like a coworker of mine put it away. He doesn't look at how much can he afford to spend on a car. He looks at how much can he afford to lose on a car. And I heard that, I was like, oh, that's actually a really good point, a really good way to view it. Obviously, it's to be able to afford to buy it, but like if you view it as the potential depreciation, buying cars like this new, unless you're just like literally pumping money out like crazy, is just insane. The RS7 I was going to buy had a $125,000 window sticker. It was a 2016, 2 years, 17,000 miles I think were on it, 85 grand. So it lost 40,000 in those 2 years. If I bought that car, given that it was a 2016, I was almost guaranteed to lose another $20,000 within the next 2 years. That was something I was okay with. I'm like, all right, I'll drive this car for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. I know I'm going to lose at least 15, 20 grand. That's okay. It's just the cost of having that car. But a car like this has already depreciated. It's this car sticker for $187,000 when new in 2011. It has, I rolled over 14,000 miles a couple earlier last week. So I'll just say 14,000 miles on it. It's a 2011, and I got it for, it was listed at 85 grand to me. And I was like, okay, I don't see this car losing 20 grand in 2 years' time. Even if I put 15,000 miles on it in 2 years, I don't see this car becoming a $65,000, $60,000 car. Because it's a V10 manual, and that's what makes it really hold its value. I firmly believe that the R8 V10s have kind of bottomed out. A lot of them are still hovering on $100,000, especially the manual ones. The manuals are kind of treated differently from the paddle shifter ones, the S-tronic or the R-tronic ones. Because the R-tronic wasn't the best transmission, the single clutch wasn't the smoothest, like a Lambo E-gear. The gated manual is cooler. Also, there aren't many supercars that come with gated manuals. I mean, you got some older Ferraris, you got the R8s, and you got like the Lamborghinis. And that's like pretty much it for like the main ones. Yeah, you get other cars with manuals, but there's something about that gated manual, the metal on metal shifter feel. It looks amazing. That makes it so desirable. My really good friend of mine, Nick, we've roomed together for a couple years. He bought a manual R8 V10 coupe in college for close to 100. It was a really good deal at the time. And that car has, we've checked values. I mean, they've held or started to slowly creep up too. So at the end of the day, I firmly was convinced that purchasing this car, I would not lose $20,000 over 2 years. Yes, the ownership cost might be higher for maintenance and little things that go wrong and insurance and that and this and that. But from a depreciation standpoint, this is almost a no-brainer. The hold, and maybe if I hold it long enough, they might start creeping up. I mean, it's in really good condition. I definitely will take very good care of the vehicle. So that's kind of the value proposition that I came to, and reason why I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy an R8. So there we go. That's kind of the quick rundown of my entire thought process, how I went from having the i8 and the S4 to pretty much deciding on selling the S4 and consolidating it down to one car, buying an RS7. I still want an RS7. They're really badass. Nick, my friend Nick, just bought a Nardo RS7. He's been looking for a long time, and it's so awesome. It's just such a great all-around car. But I'm really happy with this too. So that's, yeah, how I went from i8 plus S4 to possibly RS7 to forget about RS7, keeping S4 plus R8. Very happy with the car. I put about 550 miles on it in the last week. Been behind on videos, so trying to catch up on everything. And I mean, it's a ton of fun. This car already has a stasis tune and a stasis exhaust on it, so it sounds pretty good. The convertible feeling is nice. Oh, I want to touch on this. I talked about this when I reviewed that R8 Spyder. Personally, I've usually been a fan of coupes. If it's a convertible, I want it to be a hardtop, because when the soft top is up, it's not, I don't think it looks the best. It sometimes kind of makes the lines look all funky. On a hardtop like a McLaren or something, or a 458, you can't really tell. It still looks like the coupe, and it looks perfectly fine. So even more so on the R8, the coupes, you get that side blade, which is like a signature part of the R8 styling. This one was a Spyder, but the manual thing just overrode it completely. A V10 manual is like, okay, I'll try out the convertible feel. I've never owned a convertible before. I've driven them, never had one. I'll try out the top down. I mean, this is not a car that I was planning on buying and taking to track days and be fighting for every 10th of a second so the extra 200 pounds of weight or the lack of structural rigidity in the chassis would bother me. No. This is an exotic car that I'll cruise for fun. I'll take out to dinner, things like that. If I really wanted to have a track toy, I'd probably go buy like a Miata or like maybe a Shelby or something like that, because I can't afford to track something like this. I'm sorry, just I don't have that ability to do that yet. So manual V10 Spyder, good to go. I personally don't mind that I think it looks great with the top down. I actually love the way it looks at the top down. And driving around is pretty cool. It just seems a convertible adds that like extra little step of something else that you can manipulate and play around with. Just an option of, oh, I think I'll put the top down right now. And as you're driving around, you put the top down. Funny story though, I did get caught in the rain with the top down on the freeway, heading up to my parents' house. And it started raining, and I was like, uh-oh, that's not good. So I tried if you go fast enough, the rain won't come in, and at a significant rate of speed, at 11 miles an hour, this Rain was still coming. I'm like, ah, shoot. So I just booked it off the freeway. You have to go below, it's like somewhere in the low 30-mile-per-hour range in order for the top to go up and down. So I just kind of cruised on the highway off-ramp, slowed down enough, put the top back up, and the light was green. I just went through, and there was another on-ramp straight ahead and just got back on the freeway. So that happened. But it's nice that you can put the top up and down while you're driving. And it looks really cool. The whole mechanism of the top going up and down is really interesting. So yeah, that's pretty much how I ended up with the car. Fully well option, has a radar system in it already, Stealth Passport 9500, the exhaust, the tune. I'll probably throw it on the dyno at BCP at some point to see what this thing runs, how much power it makes. Great conditions, been clear broad, protected. I mean, it's a manual V10 Spyder. I'm like, it's a manual R8. I'm like, that's the really cool thing. That's what I wanted it for. Plans for the car. If it didn't have an exhaust, I'd probably really be tempted to, especially because Nick's car has an exhaust and it sounds absurd. I don't think I'm going to wrap it because I really love the white and black look to it. My mind can always change. But I think I'll just take care of it and enjoy it. It has brand new tires on it. I mean, I'll do the regular service and things that come up, which I'm sure, because it's a mid-engine supercar and it's an exotic, things are going to happen. It's going to be expensive. But that's just the way they are. It's better than probably an old Ferrari or a McLaren for sure, because McLaren won't even recognize your stupid key. Other than that, yeah, I don't really have any specific plans yet for the car. That can always change, because again, it's option configure the way I'd like. I might black out the badges and the grille, something like small minor things like that, but I'm going to wait a little bit. Not in any rush to do any of that right now. Other than that, that's kind of why I bought an R8 V10 Spyder. That's why I bought myself an R8. That's why I changed my mind. That's the story of it. Hope you guys found it interesting. If you have any questions, please comment below. We have 2 of those in my garage right now, this one in the coupe, so it's kind of funny rolling around with multiple R8s in the group. I love the car. I think it was a really good buy. I think value-wise, it made sense to do this. It made more sense than the RS7. It's more exciting than the RS7 in terms of it's more exotic. It does turn heads. It gets a lot of attention. It's cool getting some nice compliments. People like it. Other fun fact, this car is like the exact same spec as the one Tony Stark drove, Robert Downey Jr., in one of the Iron Mans. It's the scene where he like stacks up all those big mat boards in the passenger seat with the top off. It's a white V10 with these exact wheels in gunmetal, like white and black. So I was like, I've got Iron Man's car now. That's kind of cool. I could be Asian Iron Man. But yeah, that's how I know the car. I think it was a good decision. I'm really happy with it. Really looking forward to driving it more and enjoying it. It's already been a ton of fun. I make noise again after 2 years of the i8 of dead silence and everybody going at car meets like, is it on? Is it on yet? Rev it, rev it. Ugh. Now I can make noise. It sounds great. Love the V10. The manual feel, just like full throttle shifts are just amazing. It's so awesome. Some people ask me, will I drive it in the snow? Probably not. That's why I have the S4 for. I know it's all-wheel drive, but I don't want to get winter tires and just things. I have an S4 for that, but I will take it out in the winter probably when the roads are clear, because I just love driving it. Just walking into the garage and seeing it still puts a big smile on my face, and driving around, it's very, very exciting. So if you have any questions, please comment below. Hope you guys like this video. We'll be making many more of these in the future. Thanks for watching.